Identify a safe way that you like to come down to the floor, often sliding your hands down your legs and then coming down. You can modify and do these movements from your chair if you're in a chair. So just think of, we'll be doing a lot of lifting. You'll just lift your legs up and do some modifications with the upper body. If you're able, cross your feet at the ankles, lean as far forward as you're able, and begin to bend your knees and gently bring yourself to the floor. That is our first hip strengthening and flexibility movement for today. Go ahead and bring your feet so they're flat on the floor in front of you, knees are bent, hands are up, and gently roll down one vertebra at a time, coming all the way to the ground. And we're going to begin with breathing. Take your 4 fingers and press them into your navel. Just press gently for a moment. We will do a pressing movement when we exhale, but on the inhale, relax that pressure. Inhale, let the lower abdomen lift. And on the exhale, at the very end, a gentle press. Coming into your body, into your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. You should probably feel the pulse of your heart rate at your navel. Inhale. Exhale. We'll do 2 more breaths here. One more. Now, if you have very weak hips and you're not feeling very strong, you might just have to windshield wiper your legs. Ideally, you'll do both at the same one at a time. But even if that's hard, you can do both at the same time. If you have more strength and flexibility, draw your knee into you, one knee at a time. And then we're going to begin gently circling one direction. Feel that opening, any tightness, just tune in and observe and let that tension melt away. Come the other way. These movements are from the Tao Yin Qigong practice, much more closely linked to the yoga that came through the Himalayas from India. Squeeze. Lift that leg up and gently grab behind the leg and point and flex your toes. Tight hips often come from tightness in the hamstrings. Also, the balance that we're working on a little bit later, we're going to want to really feel an opening in our ankles and feet. Now, circle your foot one way. And then the other. And lower that leg. Gently draw in the opposite leg. Hug it nice and tight into your chest or lower abdomen, and we'll do circles one direction then the other. Really relax the leg. Let the arms do the work as you breathe gently in and out of your nose. And let's go the other way. And lift the leg, flex and point the foot. Feel any areas of tension and gently breathe into that tension and let it release. And now roll your ankle. You roll your foot, which rolls your ankle. And let's go the other direction. And bring your feet flat on the floor. Slide your feet as far away from you as you're able. Bring your hands in front of you, palms up, and gently roll up. Good. Bring your feet a bit away from the body in front of you. And we're going to be doing the turtle. You're going to hold onto your feet or your ankles, and you're going to come forward as far as you're able with a nice flat spine. At the very end, imagine you're a turtle withdrawing into your shell. Tuck your chin, curve your spine, wave up, and exhale forward. This is so good for the low back, the sciatic nerve, the IT band. Inhale up, exhale, really keep the chin up all the way to the end. Then tuck the chin, curve up. Exhale as you come forward. Inhale as you draw in. And this time come forward. And this hang heavy. Hold on to your toes a moment. Just breathe gently. Curling up. And go ahead and draw your feet a little bit closer to you, holding the feet. Lengthen the spine and just let your knees gently lower towards the earth. Don't force it. Just let whatever opening you can find in the hips just unwind. Make modifications that feel right for you. This is really a hard one to provide guided modifications for. So just trust your body and make sure you do what feels comfortable. For the next one, you're going to bring the foot in on the inner thigh. The other leg, if you are really feeling a lot of tension, not feeling very open in your hips, keep that leg out. But if you're able, draw that foot back. And really you'll feel this kind of pressing downward of the hip and the knee. Bring the hand on the side of the leg that's in front, just by that hip. And you're going to exhale, press that hand forward. Inhale, turn the palm towards you, your face, it's right in front of your face. As you exhale, and turn. Exhale, press, reach. Inhale, turn. Last one, exhale. This is such a subtle movement within the hips. And inhale, draw in. Exhale, change sides. One leg in, the other leg comes back. The hand on the leg that's in front comes right by that hip to support you. Inhale, exhale, press. Inhale, draw in and turn. Really feel that weight settling down on the back hip. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back. And go ahead and come up any way that you normally use that's safe. If you're still working on the hip, leg, quadricep, glutes, hamstrings, and knee strength, to come up in the smooth movement. So for the smooth movement, bring your feet as close to your body as you're able. The knees come up. You're kind of on the outsides of your feet. Palms are up in front of you. Lean forward and gently rise. Good. Bring the feet about hip width apart. They're parallel. And gently soften your knees, tuck your pelvis, lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders. And let's just do kind of 3 closing breaths where you inhale up, pause for a moment by your lower dantian. Inhale, Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, close. Great. We're going to just do a little bit more of warming up the hips with gentle hip circles. We'll move one direction and then the other. So you come forward to the side, back and around to the other side and forward. Really think of whatever imagery you like, but I love that imagery of being in a bowl, keeping the sides of your hips along the edge of that bowl. Let's go the other way. And settle. Keep the feet nice and wide. If you are feeling any strain, you can step them closer together. Bring your hands into loose fists by your side and turn toe in, toe out, turning over the front leg. Go ahead and bend that front leg. Keep the back heel down and lift the arm that's on the side of the back leg up. The thumb is up, palm faces the opposite direction. Breathe gently as you really bend that front leg. Feel an opening all along the front hip flexor as you breathe. Draw that hand in, bring the toe in, toe out, and let's turn the other direction. Center the hips over that front leg, bend the leg, lift the arm on the side of the leg that's in back this time. A straight line from your heel to your fingers. This is already engaging your balance. Keep that body upright. Don't lean forward or back, just a nice upright position. And realign at center. And now we're going to do a slight modification of turning the head and trunk. Toe in, toe out. Bring the toe a little bit more out. And you're going to go ahead this time. Bring the hand forward. Pinky up, thumb down, bend the leg. Feel that opening in the front of the hip again. Now we're going to move even a little bit more through the hip. As you turn at the waist, shoulders, and chin, notice more of an opening along that front hip flexor and a strengthening along the IT band and the outside of the hip. Come back into center, toe in, toe out, bend that front leg, align the hips, lift the arm up on the side of the leg that's back, pinky up, thumb down. Breathe gently as you turn again at the waist, shoulders, and chin, and notice how your hip engages to help you. But continue to notice the opening throughout the front and along the IT band. Feel the balance as well. Come back to center and realign, bringing your feet to about hip width apart for pedaling right and left. This is an incredible move for balance as well as your hip flexibility. This really engages the muscles around the hips. It allows synovial fluid in the joints to really cleanse and clear. And it is just a powerhouse move, something you can do throughout your day. So when you stand, it's important not to let the hip jut out. We want that hip, that leg nice and straight, the energy moving down, balancing from down. The knee is still soft. And you want to gaze at a point on the floor or in the distance as you deal with the balance here. So go ahead and bring one leg up. You want to feel really stable, otherwise you're going to possibly create injury and not strengthen the hip. So you might be really low, just right here. But if you're able, the full move is bringing the knee up, crossing over, up again, and settling down. Bring the weight to the other foot. Feel that downward motion. Feel the strength within both sides of the hip here. Bringing the leg up. And this movement, as you bring the leg across, is really remarkable for the flexibility and the strength within the hip as well. We don't realize often our falls aren't only from our feet not being stable or secure on the earth. They are from our hips and the muscles supporting and around them being very weak, very rigid. We want supple, vital energy. I'll do one more. And settle. We'll bring the feet side by side and now do kicking the shuttlecock. On this move, we're really working on all the directions that the hip affords and allows our body to move. So for this first one, you're going to bring the instep up, the knee moves out. Completely impossible without the hip joint. You cannot do this move without that. Such a remarkable, our bodies are remarkable. And then let's bring up the outstep of one leg. Lower. Bring up the other outstep. And now we're going to come to the front. And we will lift the heels. This is not as much a benefit for the hips as it is the knees and the hamstrings, but it's really good to keep the legs in balance. Let's do that a couple more times. We normally only do, possibly 1 to 2 repetitions on each movement. It's such an invaluable one to keep doing. Just make sure you're breathing gently in and out of your nose, lifting one heel and then the other, and we'll do one more set of all the directions. Lifting up the first instep. Again, don't let your hip jut out. Keep the skeletal structure in a nice straight line. Coming forward. And lift the heels one more time. We'll stay with our feet side by side and do some knee circles just to release some of the tension we've created. And let's go the other way. And step out wide. We'll stay with the feet side by side for one more movement, for double hands reaching down. Our hips often suffer when our hamstrings are very, very tight and or the lower back. So when we fold forward in this movement today, gauge where you are holding the most tension. If it's in your lower back, bend your knees a lot until you feel an ease and comfort in your lower back. If it's in your hamstrings, they're very tight, maybe don't come as far down and really work on lengthening the hamstrings, releasing the tension, because that will also support the work you're doing in your hips. So interlace your fingers. Inhale, the arms come up through center, turning them up and forward, gaze up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Come all the way down, and here's where you gauge, where do you need your help? Is it the hamstrings? Keep the legs straight. If it's the lower back, bend your legs and breathe gently. Bring your fingertips to the insides of your legs and inhale, coming up. Interlace the opposite thumb on top and inhale, lift up through center, gaze up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Again, gauge what you need right now. Inhale, the hands come up the inside of your legs. Exhale, settle. Step the feet out nice and wide. And we're going to be coming into a squatting position with a very straight spine. You might not go as far down, but this is super, super beneficial for releasing along the groin and strengthening the quadriceps and the glutes and legs that support healthy hips. Go ahead, and for this, go ahead and turn your feet out. You are going to come pretty deep down. Imagine with your hands that you're reading a book, and just breathe gently. Modifications are, don't go as far down. You still want to feel the muscles engaged along the girdle here, along the hips, as best you can. And you might start low and wide and then come in more narrow and not as deep. We're going to be here for a minute, so breathe gently. And please be comfortable. Step out at any time that you need. You can lift up for a moment and come back in. But just have that idea that you're just hanging out, reading a book. Breathing in and out of your nose, your heart rate will elevate. You're working your large muscle groups. This is very challenging. So just breathe gently. For many people, you might be the rare exception. Continue to breathe. This is so great also for your belt channel on the body, reproductive organs, hormonal health and balance, prostate health, reproductive health of all kinds. So really wonderful. We're almost there, you guys. Just have a couple more seconds and release. Yay, well done. Super, super good for you. Now we're going to do a move that many of you have done with me before. It is the first move of the deer postures, and it is the deer gazes backward. This is another one that's great for strengthening and promoting movement around the hip when it's in a strong position. So for this one, go ahead and inhale, the hands come up through center, reach up, gaze up, exhale, bring them down to your lower back. Put your weight into one foot and really feel that strength as you step out at about a 40-degree angle, turning over that front leg. Hinge forward so you have a straight line from the top of your head to your heel. Make sure you're breathing. Notice you're already working on balance, but we're lengthening and opening along the leg and the hip here on one side and compressing on the other, which will allow blood to flow and nourish the joint after the movement. So now, working on that balance and also the opening within the hips, turn at the waist, the shoulders, and the chin to gaze behind you, keeping both feet firmly rooted on the floor. Come back to center, and then shift your weight and come back. Even that move, shifting your weight from side to side, the hips are super essential for that. Inhale the hands up through center again. Exhale, bring the hands out, palms down, palms come to your low back. Shift your weight into the other leg and step out at a 40-degree angle. Center over that leg, hinge forward. And then turn at the shoulders, the waist, the shoulders, and the chin. Gaze at your elbow behind you. Feel the compression and opening within the hips. Feel the balance, right? It's all linked. And come back. Good, wonderful. The feet are side by side, and we're going to hold the palm and lift the knee. We're going to go ahead and, reaching for heaven and earth. I had to think of the name, sorry about that. So go ahead and inhale, the hands come to the heart. One hand presses down, the other reaches up. It is hold at palm lift knee, sorry. Gaze up if you're able. Keep the body nice and straight. And let's go ahead, we'll just breathe gently as we lift and reach. This again is another compression and extension within your hip. It's also engaging all of the muscles, not only within the feet and the legs, but within the hip as well. So really beneficial. Coming back, each side again. Don't gaze up if that's challenging for you. It's more important to really work on the lift and reach, the compression and extension. And return. Good, wonderful. All right, so for this next one, we're going to go ahead and step out wide. This is a very subtle move that you've done before. And we're going to go ahead and shift our weight to one leg. Feel this it's a combination of compression yet extension. So you have compression on the side of your hip and extension along the front. So just feel into that as you hold, bending your leg to on one side, toes are forward. Now we're going to turn at the waist. Notice how along the entire front of the hip here is opening all the way down into your adductors. Nice ringing, twisting motion there. With the instep of this leg, draw back up to center and bend the other leg. We're going to breathe here and really hold. Again, focus on this opening and compression. We're doing a lot on the other side as well, but can't bring our mind too many places. Now turn at the waist over the leg that's bent and notice the subtle changes in your hip. And draw back up to center one more time each side. Keep the body nice and upright, don't lean. Turn the torso over the bent leg. Draw back up to center and bend the opposite knee. Turn and hold. And realign. Well done. We'll do 3 little bit faster natural respirations. Inhale, exhale, but pause here at the lower dantian for a moment. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale. Bring your feet side by side, one hand touching the navel and pointing down, the other on the back of that hand. Close your eyes and go within. Notice any warmth or maybe even a cool breath of fresh air around your hips. Just this lightening, this opening. Really just observe for a moment. And then let go and just let your body rock and sway, allowing the chi to move wherever it needs to be. Release. Thank you for joining me for this hip opening and balancing practice.